What is going on, everybody? We're here. We're live. It's Ryan and Jay on a Thursday. Instead, what did we used to do like Fridays or something?
Fridays, yeah. Fridays and maybe a Monday. Who knows?
And then we added the locals thing. And I told Jeremy, I'm like, I don't think I can handle 2 hours with Jay. So we changed things up a little bit. But
I respect it. Man, you didn't see me in the back room when you started the show. I was having a massive cough attack.
No, I didn't.
I was like, put my hand on the camera. Like, I tried to turn the camera off. I was just coughing like crazy. Oh, well, but it's over now.
I did not catch that. I was on another screen for the 30-second count. I was making the most out of all that time that I had. But yes, Jay, you look like you're in the Christmas spirit.
Man, it's that time of year. My favorite time of year. It's Christmas time. It's cool.
You should have seen when he first came in because his green screen was all fucked up and it looked all like it was like leaning on its side and shit. And I could only see like half a Christmas tree.
I think there was like a spray bottle of Windex was showing.
Yeah,
it's all I need people to see. What do you need Windex for? For my windows, but
glass or a mirror. That's about the only thing I ever use Windex for, to be honest, is my bathroom mirror.
Yeah, I use it for the
glass that I have to clean.
I use it for the computer screens. So, but
when's
the last time you cleaned your computer screen?
Fucking never.
It's been a minute, isn't it?
Yeah, like maybe once every year or two, I'll be like, oh, I found these wipes that are specifically for monitor screens. Okay. I clean my TV screen way more, but I have a special thing for that.
A special thing for your
like
TV
a special
screen?
spray, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Usually I end up sneezing or something, and I gotta clean it right away.
Well, I sneeze into my fucking...
Yeah, I know. I can only imagine what's going on with the mic filter. So,
oh yeah, just imagine how much bacteria is growing in our microphones right now. Probably a lot. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, whatever. We're here. It's daily. It's a Thursday. It's almost Christmas. Everybody around me is decorating. I love it. I can walk at night. It's a little cold in Florida. Not too bad. It's a good old crisp 55 today. So could walk around the neighborhood and see all the lights at night. It's pretty neat. I was in Detroit, though, man. I was in Detroit. Detroit is it's different than Florida, that's for sure.
The past couple days, we had a period where it did get pretty chilly even during the day here, like a week ago. But now it's kind of like it's like kind of gross and humid and still kind of hot during the day. But then at night it gets nice and cold.
It gets crisp. Yeah, it's weird.
I'm thinking about starting to just like leave my windows open at night so it gets down to like 60 degrees in my place.
I get sick, man.
No, you don't get sick. That's the best way to sleep, dude. And as cold as it can possibly get, where you feel like you might die, you know?
It's not
like
bad.
When you're close to death, that's the best sleep you'll ever get.
That's where I was. Like when I just came back from Ohio and then went to Detroit. And I was supposed to meet up with Josiah and Epic Mike, but there was like a blizzard warning, of course, when I'm there. And I didn't know if I was going to get home. And they were like, I hope all I have is a hoodie, man. This is my winter clothes. That's it. So yeah, I was dying, man, when I had to go outside. That stuff like feels like it's slicing your skin open, man. Holy crap. When that wind hits you, when it's like freezing. I mean, I didn't see any snow, but
I grew up with that shit and I used to love it. But now that I'm fucking climatized to another area after spending, 15 years in Virginia, which isn't exactly this type of weather, but it's not as cold. Doesn't get as cold as it gets up in the Midwest. And then San Diego and now Florida. Now when I go back up there, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm a fucking pussy. Like, holy shit, I'm a pussy. It's so cold out here. Like that's just how it feels now.
Anyway, but I'm back. Looking forward to eggnog and hot chocolate and
Christmas cookies.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Time to fatten myself up even more.
Our man Dom H with 5 gifted memberships.
Still repping the New York avatar, I see. That's a true fan.
That's true. He's actually rooting for the Giants to lose so they can get the #1 pick,
The
I
draft
think.
pick. That's where I am with the Dolphins, but they just got to win a couple games, don't they?
And get some help, yeah. Dutchy for 5. Are you guys planning to watch Party for the Game Awards later today? And I agree with Jay. I'm not planning on doing anything. I certainly don't think Jay's planning on doing anything. I don't know what Jeremy's got going on today, but I don't know. We
I
got
don't
so
even
many
know where Jeremy
on the
is.
team. One of them might end up doing a Game Awards reaction stream, but
I
I don't
think we
fucking
are
know.
doing a watch. I think there's a watch party on Locals, and I can't remember if it's tonight but I don't think it's the Gamer Awards. I think they're watching another movie.
What movie?
A Christmas movie. I should definitely
Die
get
Hard.
that. I should definitely get. I agree with you. I should definitely get that information if I'm gonna throw it out there. So, today at 6 p.m. Eastern at Locals in Locals, they're gonna be watching Jingle All the Way.
Oh, there you go.
Today at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Turbo Man
with Steph and Beardo and Krista and Epic Mike said he might. And who knows? Who knows might show up?
It's got Anakin in it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got Anakin Skywalker in it.
I think me and you could put together a great Christmas list, but other people that are critics, they put together a really bad movie list all the time. You ever see those bad movie lists? I actually sent you one. The segue there
today was crazy. So I decided we were actually Jay usually spams me with like a bunch of random things, and most of them I look at, I'm like, I'm not even gonna respond to that because it's not like worth my time covering.
I sent him a text saying, "Hey, I'm gonna be on daily. I'm gonna watch some of your videos to catch up." He didn't even.
I was live streaming when you sent. I was live streaming when you sent me that.
Okay. Usually, at least you give me a thumbs up response.
I was live streaming when you sent me that, so I opened it and I like it. Okay, and then I like went back to streaming. So I do at least have an excuse for that. But no, I'm not the best. Sometimes people just message me, and when it says seen, I feel like, isn't that enough? I mean, I saw it. I saw the message. Shouldn't that be enough? I don't know. Yeah. But yes, you sent me this today, Jay. Apparently, Fandango has done a very scientific poll to determine what the most anticipated movies of 2025 are. We're almost here at the end of 2024. Next year's right on the horizon. And I thought it was really interesting. Now, apparently they surveyed like 9,000 people who are ticket buyers on Fandango specifically. And they came up with this list for the things that people are most interested in 2025. And I got to say, it's kind of strange, some of these. First, the fact that Captain America Brave New World is the most anticipated movie of 2025 is maybe a sad state of affairs for the year 2025.
I mean, what? That's got to be some interference. It just has to be. It's like, hey, Fandango, come on, man. We're Disney over here. We need a little help. Can you give us like, can you bump our numbers up a little bit? We need some help here. No one's seeing our films. No one cares about superheroes anymore. We need a little help.
Well, here's the thing, though. If they would have done that, I felt like we would have seen Snow White somewhere on this list. You know?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
If that's what this was. And certainly, who knows where they're taking the 9,000 people they surveyed. It could mean anything. But like some of the other puzzling things. So number 1, Captain America Brave New World. Number 2, Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning. You know, of all these movies, we just took the movies on this list. That's probably my most anticipated, to be honest with you.
Over Superman, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Because I don't necessarily have a ton of hope in that. But right, you know, maybe it'll be good, and I would love for it to be good, but I'm not sitting there like, oh, I can't wait to see it. I am really excited to see the last Mission Impossible.
Yeah, Mission Impossible. I'm with you on that. So we'll put that at number 1.
3 is Jurassic World Rebirth. I recently rewatched all of the Jurassic Park movies and all of the Jurassic World movies.
Like all 6, huh?
Yeah. And I'll definitely watch it when it comes out, but not sitting there like thinking it's going to be a fucking banger or anything.
The first 3, I still love the first 3. I still love all 3 of them. Like even the third one where they got that weird dinosaur, but the pterodactyls are they're in the big bird cage. even though it's a little repetitious.
The third one is the second best Jurassic Park movie. Like
it's pretty awesome.
It's better than the second one, which is the Jeff Goldblum one.
When they go to like LA or wherever they go.
San Diego, I think. Yeah, where they basically go there. He goes to save his girlfriend, and they end up taking the T-Rex and the baby or whatever back to San Diego, I think, to put.
That's one of the few movies where a dog dies because the T-Rex eats the family dog and drinks out of the swimming pool.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But yeah, I think the third one, I think Jurassic Park 3, the one with the fucking raptors where they steal the egg and is like,
I love that.
He like does the thing with the 3D printed whatever.
Yep.
I like that one. He's fucking sleeping.
Yeah.
Alan, the fucking raptor that he's dreaming of that just looks at him straight in the eye and says Alan. I think 3's the second best.
I love it. I love 3.
Ballerina, John Wick spinoff, Ana de Armas, who's super hot, and I like the fucking tattoo she has for it. I'll watch it. I don't think it's going to be as good as the John Wick movies, but I'll watch it. Fantastic Four. See, to me, I'm more interested in this than I am in this one. Not because I think it's going to be fucking awesome or anything, but I think a lot of the future of the MCU is going to be revealed, and a lot of it rides on the Fantastic Four movie.
I think with all the reshoots with Brave New World, that is going to be there. All right, remember when Ant-Man came out and that was supposed to be, that was supposed to be the launch of the next phase with the Kang Dynasty, and it didn't have the effect that they wanted. I think that's what they're going to do with Brave New World. We're going to see the new Avengers. We'll probably see Robert Downey Jr. We'll probably see, I don't know what Chris Evans is going to be in there. Who knows? But
wait, in Fantastic Four First Steps?
No, in Captain America. I think they're going to be in. I think they're going to show up somehow in the end credit scenes or something. It's going to be in Captain America.
Robert Downey Jr. is not going to be in this one. I think Robert Downey.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say I bet he makes an appearance, even if it's just a mask or something.
I think that you're going to have little teases of Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom in Fantastic Four, because I think that's going to be like the universe where he's from. That's what I think. And that'll be the first time that we get actually teased with Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. Then event goes on at Avengers Doomsday. Maybe we do get some understanding of who the other Avengers are in this, maybe, but I don't know. I know this is top of your list. Avatar: Fire and Ash.
Yeah, that's I don't know if it's number 1, but it's probably number 2. I love Mission Impossible films. I really do. And but that's probably number 2. Avatar:
Wicked
Fire and Ash.
2.
Nobody's interested in it, but it'll do $3 billion.
Yeah, like no one really cares about it, but it'll make $2 billion easy.
Such a weird phenomenon, the Avatar films.
Wicked Part 2, like when you look at Wicked, it's probably going to end the year as the 4th highest grossing domestic movie, because it's about to pass fucking Minions, and Moana will potentially overtake it at some point. Who knows? But the 3rd or 4th highest grossing domestic movie. I feel like there might be more interest, like in general, more interest in this than in Ballerina. But I don't know. This is the puzzling one. The Accountant 2.
I didn't even know they were doing that.
I like The Accountant. Solid movie. The Accountant 2, I didn't even know was coming out. Yeah. And how is there's more interest in The Accountant 2 than Superman? Something doesn't fucking make any sense.
Exactly. Like, again, I had no idea they were making a second one. The first one I saw on streaming, no big deal. Cool. But yeah, number 8.
Yeah, like that's the rest of this stuff I can kind of maybe explain away with some bullshit. This one makes no sense. The fact that Accountant 2 is more highly anticipated than Superman. The Accountant movie, I think, made like $150 million, was fairly well received. I liked it, but a fucking Superman movie at number 9, the relaunching of the DC universe, Superman at number 9. Fuck.
That's wild. I thought that would be at least top 3.
And then 28 years later, which they just posted a banger trailer.
Yeah.
That trailer was fucking awesome. And I couldn't say that I certainly would have watched it, but now after that trailer, it's like, holy shit, this could be good. Of course, it could just be a really good trailer that tricks us.
I got to go back and watch the first film again. It's been a minute. But is it true that they filmed this movie with an iPhone? I've been seeing that rumor that they filmed 28 years later on an iPhone, that a lot of it was filmed on an iPhone. Did you hear that?
No.
I might have to look that up. Or maybe I'm just maybe I'm looking into the onion. I don't know. Maybe someone in the chat can help. But I that's what I was reading. Like, it was filmed on an iPhone.
Yeah,
that'd be crazy if true.
This list is fucking whack, dude.
Right, out of this list, who's gonna make the most? Probably Avatar, right?
Yeah, Avatar.
And then and Wicked will probably do the best domestically, you think?
Well, not better than Fire and Ash, but if I was
think Avatar domestically will do better, because that's usually like,
there's usually a really big international split. However, it's like 500, 600, 700 million domestically, and then like fucking $2 billion worldwide. Do you know what I mean? Or $2 billion internationally. There's certainly more, like, there's going to be a heavy international to domestic split, but go look at the first 2 Avatar movies and tell me what their domestic numbers were. They're big.
28 years later was indeed shot entirely on an iPhone 15 Pro Max.
That's crazy.
That is
now
insane,
I don't want to go
man.
watch it. If you'd used a Samsung S24 Ultra, then I would have totally been in on it. But on an iPhone, fuck that shit. If I'm looking at these, I would say Avatar makes the most. Jurassic World Rebirth, potentially. Those movies are fucking crazy, dude. All the Jurassic World movies made $1 billion.
People love dinosaurs.
Yeah, they do. So I wouldn't count against that. Fantastic Four First Steps, maybe. Mission Impossible Final Reckoning.
Yeah. Well, the first, like, the weird thing is the part 1 of the Mission Impossible didn't do well.
No, it didn't. Dead Reckoning did not do well, and I liked it. But it only made about $600 million.
Dude, I loved it.
So
I love
this is the last one. You got to trust me one last time, Jay.
I trust you, man. Superman not looking good, huh? People have no. People just don't have faith in the James Gunn universe. I guess we haven't seen anything yet.
Creature Commandos is out. If you want to watch that on Max, I think right now.
That's gonna. It's, man. If like the whole universe hinges on this Superman movie, though, right? Pretty much.
I feel like if it sucks, it's gonna affect a lot of things.
Yeah.
Excitement wise. Rabid one for 2. Good luck on your court case, Jay. 3.
My court case.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Golden Nuggets, Jay, for most agreed upon person of the year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Rob Cortez, 199. It's practice Friday. Let's go. It's practice Friday. David Smart for 2. The Kraven film is so screwing. I'm not watching it. We are going to cover that. Fuck you, suck me dick for 199. Hello, Jay and Ryan. Jay is gay. Hello.
Hello.
SWA for 5. I still want The Amazing Spider-Man 3, even though we're probably never getting it. Hashtag Andrew Garfield deserves better. I would love to see it. I'd love to see it. Ben's sister for £2. I sometimes struggle managing my baubles. I can imagine. You probably have a lot of back problems. Nicholas Gore for $2. Jay, is that the infamous Santa hat?
From the 24-hour? Yeah, it's the same one. And I haven't even cleaned it. It just, usually around January 2nd or 3rd, it just goes in a box.
It comes back out.
Yeah, it comes back out around Thanksgiving.
A house elf cleaned it or something over the holidays. Tobias, No Zootopia 2? Guess people have really lost faith in animated Disney. Even other furs are worried it'll be woke trash. Thanks, Tobias. There was no animated movies on that list.
That's true.
Like that list to me is like fucking just wild. Like 9,000 people who use Fandango. That's what the survey was. I don't know if I don't know if I think that list totally represents most of the population. We'll put it that way. Grand Admiral Adam, Jeremy's busy being a conjugal visit at his local men's prison. Yeah, Thursdays, they have longer visitation hours so he can fit in a 2-for-1 special. Dom H, I agree with Jay.
Thank you.
On what?
Who knows?
Who fucking knows?
I don't know.
Switzerland, play it for $1. Ryan, have you ever considered about getting decent lighting and getting rid of your Simpsons skin color? No.
Yeah, Ryan has a what? A Simpsons skin color.
Saying I look yellow.
Like he's got a liver disease.
I got jaundice or something.
Jaundice. Yeah. Almost said I don't know. We'll keep it moving.
What did you almost say?
I was gonna say jaundice, but it's jaundice. Jaundice, right? Yeah.
Jaundice, yeah. Rich the plug for 2 Game Awards tonight, boys. Black Myth Wukong or Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Who y'all got? Jay, toast some nuts or something. Ryan, just go ahead and nuke some shit. Of the games that are up, the one I had the most fun with is Black Myth Wukong. But I don't think it's going to
Fortnite on the list.
Is what?
Fortnite on the list.
Fortnite didn't make it. Didn't make the cut this year.
I'm not watching. Protest.
Christian Rocker for $1. 28 Days Later is nowhere on streaming, free, or for rent. No longer making physical copies. Only way to watch now legally is to get a secondhand copy. I imagine that it'll be on a streaming site at some point in the next couple months. But yes, you can always, sail the high seas.
That is true.
Christian Rocker, Super/Man is now streaming on Max. Missed it in theaters. Looking forward to checking it out. Yes, the Christopher Reeve documentary thing.
Did you see that?
I didn't, but I got to watch it. It's on my list.
I heard it's brutal.
In terms of emotionally gutting.
Yeah, just emotionally sad, like the whole.
Yeah. It's not a super happy story. So.
Yeah.
Nader's Brick channel. My channel is 200 away from reaching 1K. Where's Ben's sister? She seems to be good for growth. For channels and the chat. Hail199.
Did you hear about that story?
What?
Ben's sister and Ben's channel?
No.
So apparently Ben, he was playing Call of Duty and his sister was playing and they heard a female voice. And then on Tuesday night's main event, he's like, yeah, maybe my sister will show up again. And then he gained like 400 subscribers in about 3 hours. So, but she's never shown up again. Really?
Okay.
Imagine that.
Well, that's strange. That's very strange indeed, isn't it? Tyler Harris. Let's see. Ryan, as a fellow Revan and Kreia stan, George's comments on the light and dark do sting, but I get he must hate Old Republic nuance of the Force. Tyler, I think there's a misunderstanding for people that look at a character like Kreia. One, Revan is canonically Revan, comes back to the light, right? And is a light side user. When you're playing a video game, you can choose whatever you want to do, but canonically, we know that Revan comes back to the light and becomes a Jedi. Kreia is a villain. Kreia is the antagonist. Kreia is leading you throughout all of KOTOR 2, is trying to convince you that it's okay to do these things if kind of the ends justify the means or whatever. That's wrong. And that's why you have to fight her and kill her at the end, right? That's wrong. So although I like the character of Kreia, the idea that she's right about the Force or that that's the correct view of the Force is inaccurate. There's some people that have been tricked into believing that, oh, that's actually the way the Force works. It's not. So that's not even like Old Republic nuance of the Force. That's not even true, right? The way that Kreia presents it is not accurate, and it's meant to trick the exile into falling under her sway. Now, you can have a lot of awesome conversations about it and a lot of interesting discussion points and things like that, but Kreia is the antagonist. Kreia is bad. Kreia is the villain in the situation.
I agree.
Thanks, Jay. Killer cosplay for $5. I'm making Christmas cookies on Sunday. What do you guys think of the best cookies / desserts for the Christmas season?
What is that avatar? Very impressive.
That's her killer cosplay. Killer cosplay.
Cookies for the Christmas season?
What are your favorites?
Man, I like those. I think they're like sugar cookies. They have like the little icing and they make the cute little like Santa faces or candy canes or something like that. Those are pretty good. I also love gingerbread. So
yeah, so we do something like that. A recipe my grandma had that everyone still makes. We do these sugar rollouts, and then we just, a couple cookie cutters or whatever. They have a bunch of different designs, and then you actually paint the cookies, just powdered sugar and milk mixed up together with some food coloring, and we all paint the cookies a couple days before Christmas and shit like that. So that's always a favorite.
Those little icing in a can, though, right? Like, you know what I'm talking about? It's like red.
That's not what I use.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like when I brought it up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now, I forget what they're called. The ones that are like have that little bit of like raspberry jam in the middle.
Oh, yeah. Top tier.
I could eat those until I fucking exploded. Like, honestly. Yep. I fucking love those things.
You know what else comes around? Maybe it's just the people I hang out with. I don't know. But I only see this around Christmas time. It's the sugar cookies, and they take a Hershey's Kiss and stick it right on the top. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like, I only see, is that a Christmas cookie, or is that just, we decide to make that for, is that being lazy? When you're not like going to put decoration, you just want to stick a Hershey's Kiss on the top? Or,
I love those ones.
I eat them too, like crazy. I'm just saying, they are a Christmas cookie. Okay.
Yeah, I've made them with Reese's as well.
What? That sounds incredible.
It is incredible.
That sounds incredible. I don't think I've ever had them. Usually Krista makes all these cookies for all of us.
Tobias next for 10. What about Gray Jedi, Ryan? Would they be considered true masters of the Force since they attempt to understand and harness both sides? There's no such thing as a Gray Jedi. It's bullshit, right? That's literally what I'm like trying to say. People are big fans of the idea and the concept of a Gray Jedi because guess what? When you play a video game, you can make any decisions you want, and I can have the best light side force powers and the best dark side force powers in Jedi Outcast. My Kyle Katarn can not only heal himself, but he can also force lightning everybody and force choke people. But the Gray Jedi is not a thing.
Where did that come from?
It came from people. I think it really started because of video games, because that aspect of being able to use both sides of the Force. And you do have some stories like Knights of the Old Republic 2 where they get into that, and they get into, do the ends justify the means? You got to think about the impact on this. Is it okay to use a dark side force power if it meant saving somebody that mattered? Like all these things, right? So people like having those conversations, but Gray Jedi are not a thing.
I think they were trying to push that route in the sequel trilogy with Kylo Ren saying, forget the Sith, forget the Jedi, just join me, Rey. We could just do some Force stuff together and just make our own way in the galaxy.
Yeah, I see some people saying that like Qui-Gon's not a Gray Jedi at all. At all.
I don't even know who would be a Gray, if there was such a thing. I don't know who would be one, because Revan switched forces. He switched teams.
Okay, so Revan was a Jedi. He went out. They found the fucking hidden Sith Empire, basically, and the Emperor kind of mind controlled him, sent him and Malik back to start fucking taking over the galaxy. Revan fucking gets attacked by the Jedi Strike Force. They wipe his fucking memory, and regardless of whatever you do in the game, canonically, Revan takes the path of the Jedi once again, right? So that was somebody who essentially was manipulated into switching sides. But once he even understood what everything that happened to him, even after he understood what the Jedi did to him, like he canonically decides to take the path of the Jedi.
And you don't even put like you said, video games probably like Star Killer. Would that be classified as something like that, or that's just a mutant chemistry experiment that just went crazy?
Well, like you wouldn't call Darth Vader a gray Jedi because at one point he was on one side and then at another point he was on another side, right?
Correct. That's true.
God, I fucking hate Star Wars sometimes. Jason Yankovic for 5. Cookies with a Hershey kiss on them are the diehard of Christmas cookies. They're cookies that just happen to be made at Christmas time. Thank you, Jordan.
I agree with Ryan on the diehard, so there'll be no argument over here.
Tobias next for 5. I mean, what if a Sith uses Force lightning to restart someone's heart like a defibrillator because they care about them? Would they still be considered evil?
Only from a certain point of view.
Yeah, depends on your point of view. Would that specific action be considered evil if you're drawing upon dark side powers? If you're using your hate, your anger, all of these things like that to draw this force power, like that's the problem. And even if you do it for a good reason, when you start giving into those types of emotions for a certain power, it can lead you down a very dark path. That's the entire point.
Everybody got that?
Sir Hat for 5. People think Kraya is right about the Force outside of the game. Her arguments are solid. Grey Jedi are dumb. Revan is better before the Old Republic.
Man, they love hearing you talk about Star Wars. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, Jay, you can talk about Star Wars. You're the only person here that's seen Skeleton Crew. Are you enjoying your time with Skeleton Crew?
I wouldn't know about like enjoying it. I don't think it's a terrible show. What I find funny is that it might be one of the better productions of Star Wars that we've seen on for Disney Plus. So that I think that's pretty funny. That like this could be the best, the best that they could do. Is it a Star Wars show? They throw in little things. Like they had a little scene with one of the battle droids from the prequels. They turned one on for like a second, and he was screaming, "Did we win? Did we win?" And then his head fell off again. So he didn't say Roger, Roger, but I was hoping for that one. But that's pretty much it. All we've gotten was like somewhat of character development in these first 3 episodes, which is better than anything they gave us in the Acolyte, which isn't saying much. So that's pretty much where we are. The viewership has got to be horrible because even though I do a review, like and other people, like the views on the reviews for that show are just like in the tank. Means most people don't care and they just kind of walk away. So it is definitely it's an Ewok adventure kid show.
Yeah, I just have so little interest in it. Like,
yeah,
to me, most of so Dave Filoni, an average project from Dave Filoni is typically geared towards like kindergartners that are retarded anyway. So the idea of a show specifically like geared towards kids, I can't fucking sit there and pretend like I really give a fuck about it. Maybe when it's all said and done, I'll watch through it real quick just so I understand what's going on. But there's like zero interest in this show for me.
They just lean it into like, let's make a pirate Star Wars show. I would not compare it to the Goonies whatsoever. But it's that's all it is, you know, because the guy's name is Crimson Jack. He's the pirate that can use a little bit of the Force.
Which is, by the way, Crimson Jack was a fucking character from the expanded universe.
Was it? That I did not know.
He was. That they're bastardizing for this.
Holy crap. So his name is Crimson Jack.
He's called that because he had like fucking red hair and a beard and shit. Because that's why I think he was called Crimson Jack. That's what I always assumed.
And then they introduced a new character, some kind of owl-like creature that's good with maps. And the whole premise is these kids live on a planet that's been hidden from the galaxy because they have something that if the word got out that every bad guy ever would show up and probably steal, and they think it's the Old Republic money. So that's the premise. So
okay.
Yeah. So the kids, they find a spaceship. All right, real quick, I'll just catch you up to speed. They find a spaceship. They magically turn it on by just pushing and smashing buttons. You know, kind of like what I do when I
They
enter something.
bypass the compressor.
Yeah, and it just takes up and it launches, and they were able to activate a robot that talks like a pirate, and he's got one eye like a pirate, you know, and then they don't know how to get home. So the pirate, the robot goes, "I'll take you to this place. Maybe there's someone here that'll help you get back to Ad Atten." That's the name of their place, Ad Atten. So then they find this pirate that was in jail. He uses the Force, I think, or it's a bunch of mirror and tricks to get them out. And he's like, "Nobody knows where Ad Atten is, so we'll take you to this other place where this owl creature can find your home." So they go there and they figured out where it is. She looked at like their book bags and stuff and goes, "Oh, I know that symbol. That means it's over
Ooh.
here." So, and then they're being chased by X-Wings because they're trying to get Crimson Jack. So they're in this ship that's all beat up, and that's the end of the 3rd episode. They finally got the coordinates to go home. That's it.
There we go.
You see Jawas, they always throw Jawas in there doing nothing. And yeah. And a couple droids. That's about it.
Wolfsbane for 199. Didn't Plo Koon use a type of Force lightning? So there is, it's not true like Sith Force lightning. There's something called electric judgment. Sometimes it'll get referred to as emerald lightning. It's a much kind of lower powered level of lightning. It's generated from the light side of the Force because you're using it for defense, not for kind of vicious attack of people. But that does exist. Electric judgment does exist. Handful of people have used it.
I agree.
Pool noodles for 20. Ryan, where do Imperial Knights from Star Wars Legacy fall between Jedi or Sith? I would say definitely more on the... So their purpose, Imperial Knights' purpose is not to like serve the will of the Force. Their purpose is to serve the Emperor, right? In the Fel Dynasty. But they are the enemies of the Sith as well. So I would put them more on like the light side than not, but their purpose is not to serve the light. That's not what they're doing. Tobias Nexus for 5. Thanks for clearing it up. Always confuse me when someone is called a hero or a villain for trying to use one side or another for another purpose. You're welcome, Tobias.
You're welcome.
Goji the King. Obi-Wan's favorite Force power, the mind trick, is technically a dark side power of manipulation, and he's definitely not a dark sider. Windu would be closest to a light side user that is comfortable with the dark side. The Jedi mind trick is not a dark side power, right? Now, could it be abused? Of course it could be abused, right? If you're mind tricking somebody to go and fucking jump off a cliff or something like that, of course it could be. If you're using mind trick to convince somebody that they didn't see you there as you walk by, like that's not a fucking
dude.
Dark side.
Should do a stream called the Gray Jedi. It seems like a lot of people are interested in this.
I'm good. I'm
letting Ryan cook.
Now, Mace Windu does use a lightsaber technique called Vapad, where essentially what he does is use dark siders that he's fighting, their energy, their anger, and emotions kind of against them with his fighting style. And it's very difficult to make sure you yourself don't give in to those things while you're using that fighting style. But yes. But Mace Windu is not out there fucking using dark side powers. Filthy Casual for 5. Skeleton Crew is really limited by being so kid-oriented. It was more for young adults. They can make it a little darker and have kids be more capable. Vandergraaf for 5. Have either one of you read Lords of the Sith novel? Thoughts? That's one of the Disney ones. I think it's the one with Vader and Palpatine on the front. I never read it. Boba Fett, the planet the kids are from, will become the secret Sith base in which Palpatine emerges from in the trilogy.
I hope so. I want that to be true. That'll spark a little more interest, maybe. Not in a positive light, but maybe something.
Spider Unlimited for 2. Ryan J, recommend Red Harvest book. Jay?
Sure.
I think Death Troopers is better than Red Harvest. Red Harvest is okay.
I've never read it.
Red Harvest is okay.
I love Darth Plagueis though.
Christian Rockefeller, but come on, Ryan. You know Ahsoka is a gray Jedi. Ahsoka is a gay Jedi. Okay, Ahsoka is a gay Jedi. All right, we got to talk about. Speaking of gay, I don't really know if the movie's gay or not. I haven't watched it yet, but we got to talk about Kraven the Hunter. We got to talk about old Kraven the Hunter. Jay, do you love the Sony Spider-Man universe?
Not in particular.
Spider-Man? You do?
I didn't even see Venom 3. Did you see Venom 3?
No. I did see Venom 2 with you.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all. I did fall asleep. I was next to you.
You were right next to me. You were snoring.
I mean, it's, Venom, Carnage, the story's it's definitely not comic book friendly, but they put out some bangers like Madam Web. It looks like they're shooting for the moon on this one on Kraven. They really want to set that record as the worst. What do you call this? The Sony Spider-Man universe? Is that what we're calling this?
That is technically what it's called, the Sony Spider-Man universe, despite the fact that Spider-Man doesn't make an appearance. All of these characters that are supposed to be villains towards him end up making appearances, but instead they're fucking anti-heroes. And obviously the first Venom movie was a massive smash hit for them. The second one did well. Third one, not so great financially, but it did still recover the amount of money it needs to be profitable. Unfortunately, everything else they've done has been a complete and total nightmare. Morbius was a disaster. Madam Web was a disaster. And now Kraven the Hunter is set to be released this weekend. And Sony's already said, hey, you know what? We're not doing any more of these. We're hitting the pause button. No more Sony Spider-Man universe movies for us. We're done with this fucking experiment. And as Kraven is set for release, they waited to the last possible moment for the review embargo to lift. And I feel like there might be a reason for that because the first reactions so far have not been great. Kraven the Hunter right now is sitting at a 14% from the critics. And of course, these are critics. Critics have been extremely wrong in the past. Audiences have been like, go fuck yourselves. They love this movie. It ends up being a massive hit. Venom. I think Venom only had like a 30 or a 35 from the critics, something like that. But when it comes to the last couple Sony Spider-Man universe movies like this, they've been pretty spot on. Morbius got around 11 or a 12%. Madam Web got an 11%. And now Kraven with a 14%. And here you can see the Madam Web response, 11% from Madam Web. And worse than that, worse than just it getting destroyed already, it's not going to make any money at the box office. Kraven the Hunter tracking to open below Madam Web at the box office. Tracking for between a $13 and $15 million opening weekend. Madam Web started off at a $13.5 million opening. So there is a potential that we set a new record low with something like Kraven. I'm going to watch this movie either today or tomorrow at some point, and I'll give my thoughts. But holy shit, it's just hard to give a fuck about this universe, especially when they continue to turn characters that could be pretty compelling villains into these like anti-hero stories in a universe that has no fucking actual hero in Spider-Man.
I think the best thing to come out of this universe was when Morbius came out and people were trashing on it so bad that it was trending. And somebody over there at Sony was like, oh my gosh, Morbius is trending. Let's re-release it in the theater again. I think people are excited. Who the heck is working over there? You remember that? And they re-released it in the theater and it just completely bombed. Again? It was the second time it bombed. It's like, who are they listening to? They saw it on like either Twitter trends or Google trends or something. And they were like, oh my God, it's trending. We got to get it back in the theater. Here's our chance to recover. It was just people
Morbin time, baby.
Yeah. It was just people laughing at it. That's how bad it was.
Yeah. And, obviously, even some of these movies that were massively successful, just because the critics like it doesn't mean that no one will show up. Look at Venom, right? Venom was a huge box office success for them, especially based on what they put into the movie. Let There Be Carnage, a little less so. The Last Dance, a little less so as well. But these three at the bottom are the ones that have just completely and totally tanked for them. And Kraven, based on the projections, based on these initial reactions, seems to be headed down that same path. But maybe it'll be fucking awesome. But something tells me it won't
I don't
be.
think so.
At least Madam Web, I could sit there and I could laugh at how terrible it was. There was a little bit of enjoyment from that aspect, how ridiculously cringe some of the parts were. I can only hope to get some of the same from Kraven the Hunter, but I don't know if I can even expect that.
Just curious, do you think if like Madam Web did very, very well, that they would be the heroes in this universe and they would do some crossover? Like if that, were they setting that up for anything or not really?
I have no idea. Like,
Okay.
I don't know what their fucking
Just a theory.
plans were.
Just
Like,
curious.
you've got a couple different Spider-Men that you could have used for this. I personally wouldn't have brought in Tom Holland's Spider-Man. But I think you could have still used Spider-Man. I don't know if Andrew Garfield would have been interested or invested in doing anything like this, especially after, No Way Home. But,
That is true.
I don't understand what their end goal was for this.
Just like cash grabs, probably. Hey, we've got these characters that no one else can use. Let's just make some movies and see what happens.
Like Venom works because Venom is a super recognizable villain.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy's funny and it fucking works. Now, to me, it worked for the first one. The second one, I was already out because I'm like, it's just the fucking first movie all over again.
Yeah.
And I didn't even watch the third one. But that movie, they probably thought they could really capitalize on this using their villains in this universe this way. Because I think it was like a $70 or $80 million budget for the first Venom movie, and that movie made what, like $800 or $900 million, something like that. I actually think that's a decent strategy you could do something with if you're talking about making these lower budgeted movies. But the problem is you still have to make some fucking money. Not everything has to be $1 billion. Not everything has to be 800 or 900 million. But you can't have Madam Webs. You can't have Morbiuses. You can't have what looks to be this Kraven the Hunter movie and expect to be successful.
But it wasn't at the end of No Way Home. Didn't Venom make an appearance, like at an end credit scene, that he might have gotten like zapped, in the multiverse? So they was like hinting that they might bring him in, and they didn't do anything with that. So, but yeah, I agree. They could have grabbed a Spider-Man and put him in there. It probably would have helped.
Certainly wouldn't have hurt.
No, I wouldn't hurry. But, well, this one's over. We'll close the book on this.
The problem is you still have like Vulture in that universe too, which is a Tom Holland Spider-Man villain.
Yeah.
Vulture is in this Sony Spider-Man universe. So in theory, it should be Tom Holland Spider-Man. But like none of this stuff makes any sense.
No. They just did that to hopefully gain some excitement for the next film. So you think we'll see any of these characters cross over in a Marvel Spider-Man? Maybe.
I don't think so. I think the next time we're going to see Spider-Man proper is going to be in Spider-Man 4. And I think that is going to be, I don't think they're going to try to fucking do all the multiverse shit like they did in the last one. I think they're going to try to save a little bit of that. Maybe bringing Toby and Andrew back for Avengers Secret Wars or whatever.
Yeah, I think it'll be Secret Wars. We'll see a bunch that they'll be able to open the floodgates and bring whoever they want for that one.
And I hope we actually do get a little bit more down to earth, street level, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man type of thing from Tom Holland in Spider-Man 4. That's what they kind of promised people at the end of No Way Home, that's what they're going to do. I hope they stick to that. Who knows? You never know what could happen. But are you going to go see Kraven?
I have no interest whatsoever.
Are you going to go see War for the Rohirrim?
No. No. I know the Goonies is going to be re-released next month. I'll probably go see that.
I'm not a big Goonies fan.
It's okay. It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, I can see that. Logan Johnson, what's up, Ryan and Jay? Late to the stream, but wanted to say hi and ask how bad are Kraven and Skeleton Crew on a scale of 1 to hell no. I can't tell you about Kraven because I haven't seen it yet. I can just say what everybody else is saying.
Skeleton Crew is, I mean, it's just made for a younger audience, so it's just very, it's just a kid show. So if that doesn't interest you, that'll be like a 2 on your scale. But if you wanted to give it a chance to see, then maybe a 5 or 6.
Sir Hat, you can cut the brother out of Red Harvest entirely and nothing changes. Yeah, I don't like Red Harvest nearly as much as I like Death Troopers. And I don't even love Death Troopers or anything. And I think when Han and Chewbacca come into Death Troopers is when I wish they wouldn't have been in it because you already know they're not going to die. So beat Jane for 2. Jay fell asleep next to Ryan. Gay.
Not on his shoulder or anything. We're in the back row in a big theater. Like we had a big seat. I had my feet up.
Is that the movie where the couple that was sitting next to us moved because I was being so obnoxious?
Yeah. And I was laughing at your jokes so loud. You knew it was happening when they do the old. It's like they whispered to each other and got up, and I couldn't stop laughing. And Jeremy turned around because what was he, like a row in front of us, and was like, guys, come on, come on. He was trying to do the hand motion.
Yeah, he was being such a queer. Who fucking cares?
It just made me laugh even louder.
Don't take me somewhere and expect me to be someone else.
Exactly.
That's your fault.
Man, I fell asleep.
Dull Life Dan for 5. Ryan, you're wrong. Fortnite is nominated at the Game Awards for Best Ongoing Game, going against Final Fantasy 14, Destiny 2, Diablo 4, and Helldivers 2. I felt like when Jay asked the question, he was talking about
Game of the Year. Yeah,
but maybe I was wrong in that.
Let's go Fortnite.
Mikey Gussler. Jay, it was such a pleasure meeting you in person last weekend for GalaxyCon and the dinner meetup. Thanks for everything. Hope it happens again soon.
Yeah, Mike. It was cool meeting you and everyone else that showed up as well. We had a nice little meetup in a restaurant. We all got some burgers, told stories, and of how they met G&G and who their favorite G&G personality is and who they love to watch on Geeks and Gamers. Everybody had the kind of the same answer. So that was kind of cool. And of course, Gina and Zachary Levi and all them were there. Had a funny conversation with Zach in the bathroom. And there's that.
There you go. Shout out Mikey. Cardinal for 5. I'm going with the idea that it'll be better off seeing Kraven on the base. I'll never put myself through watching Morbius, Madam Web, or Venom 2 or 3.
Who knows?
Madam Web was funny because of how bad it was. It actually was. What I'm hoping for Kraven is I get to see some fucking badass action sequences, even if fucking plot makes no sense and is dumb. Hopefully, at least some of the action will be pretty gory and badass.
Rated R, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Logan Johnson also heard Sonic 3 first reactions are very possible. Hold on. Also heard that Sonic 3 first reaction M's are very positive, possibly the best in the series. Definitely looking forward to seeing that in Nosferatu.
Have you seen their posters?
Nosferatu, probably more than Sonic 3. I'll definitely watch Sonic 3. I think the first 2 have been fine. I like the ending when you go supersonic at 2. 2, I didn't like 2 as much as the first one because there were too many goddamn people in it. I didn't need that stupid retarding wedding entire storyline. Fuck that entire storyline. But Sonic 3 does look like it'll be pretty good. Nosferatu.
Oh, I was sorry. I was going to show they got some really cool movie posters. I thought that's pretty good. I don't know if you saw them. Yeah. Anyway,
Jim Carrey. Nosferatu, I actually think looks really good. I've liked a lot of stuff that Robert Eggers has done, obviously, and Nosferatu looks awesome. There are some people, even if you invite them to a Nosferatu movie, they're like, why would I want to see this? Dracula's already been done, and that's okay. I'll find somebody else to go with if you don't want to watch Dracula. Nader's Brick Channel for 2, The Restroom, best place to meet Jay. He spends a disproportionate amount of time in there, so yes.
we were talking in the green room, and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna come by your booth. Like, I'd love to get a picture." He's like, "Yeah, let's go." It's like they don't like to take pictures in the back room. It's kind of like those people's safe place. So then we were going back out for Gina's autographs again, and I was like, "Let me run into the restroom real quick." And he was in there, and then we just started talking while someone was going to the bathroom. It was kind of funny. So anyway, it was about nothing, but it was just funny that we were having a conversation, and in the back it was, it was kind of funny.
Nice.
Story of my life.
Wally Reyes for 20. Ryan, what do you think of Revan's story in SWTOR? I'm not a big fan of, especially kind of like how long it gets dragged on, I suppose, in Star Wars: The Old Republic. I have no problem at all with the Revan book and the way the story ends in the Revan novel. But I wasn't a huge fan of how he was then utilized in Star Wars: The Old Republic, because they really want you to have to fight Revan for this reason. Like, I wasn't a big fan of it. I feel like we already had Revan that you had to fight. Overall, I really like Star Wars: The Old Republic in general, and most of the expansions. I was not a huge fan of the Revan one. I like the fight. Like, I like that. I actually, the Revan fight is one of my favorite ones. Especially when the fucking saber starts spinning around, you got to push it out of the way and shit like that. But wasn't a huge fan of the story itself. Over on the Rumble side, B. Barrett for 2. Ryan's favorite Christmas dessert is fudge. He really knows how to pack it. Get it, Jay?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
To brew that do for 2. I identify with Ryan, but I agree with Jay.
That's interesting.
It is interesting how that works.
Yeah.
And I think, look at that. We're all caught up, Jay.
Man, and we're hitting the mark.
A couple minutes left, though.
Right on time.
That's how we do it here.
I know. If I could say something, maybe I'm speaking out of turn. That's the one reason Ryan does like me on the show. Because Jeremy goes over about 30 minutes arguing about Titanfall 2, Tim Tebow, and Batman vs. Superman.
My Heart is a Christmas movie.
That was this month, yeah. So I'm at the point when he starts that argument with me, I'm like, yeah, sure. Do your thing. Have a terrible Christmas. All I care. It's your life, not mine.
Yeah, it's like arguing with a retarded brick wall.
But when he knows Jay's on, he's like, we're done in an hour and I'm out of here.
Hey, we're keeping it on schedule. It'll be nice and light, Yeah. There's not going to be any fights for Danky to clip, at least not typically. So that's a good thing. Carol Hall. Hey, Jay, did you remember my picture of Dan?
A little foggy right now. Carol, did I meet you at the meetup? Wasn't that you? Might have been. If that's the case, then yes, I remember. If that's not you, you might need to send me an email. I'm not sure. I just got back. A little tired.
SWTOR Jedi Knight story with Revan was okay. The Shadow of Revan was okay. So I don't mind I actually didn't mind the Jedi Knight story with Revan. I thought that was cool. What I didn't like was, what I wasn't as big of a fan of was the Shadow of Revan. That's the one that I wasn't as big of a fan of. Bob Starsky for £2. The Sonic 3 poster parody in Home Alone is the best. That is pretty good. That is pretty good. Jay, what do you have going on this weekend, tomorrow? What do you got going on?
Just got back and still in the process of selling Achromatic Chronicles Green. Doing very well. Probably will go live on my main channel. Haven't done that in a minute. And have some more promotion for that. But I'm just looking forward to Christmas and New Year's and all that stuff. Like that's where I'm at. I will be live in the morning back at the Welcome to Rebellion podcast at 8 a.m. My normal everyday live stream over there where we talk about politics and everything else. So if you want in-depth political structure, that's where you need to go. Early in the morning before you start your day.
The most revered political mind of our time.
Yeah, we don't do too bad. We usually get like 300-400 people hanging out, having a good time. So I'll be back tomorrow. Should be fun. Should be fun.
Should be fun. All right, guys. That's going to be it. I don't know who it's going to be tomorrow. Could be me and Jay. Could be Jay and Jeremy. Could be Jeremy and Beardo. Could be anything. You never know. But we appreciate you guys hanging out. And thanks to Jay for bringing the Christmas spirit as always.
Hey, it's what we do.
And we will talk to you guys later. Bye, everybody.